Hey, Shalom Markings for Kama Kapashan Jim Islam, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Chakwadash. I want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom met there to the whole product, pushing his truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video, another topic, right? I'm going to entitle this one, if Alazar was a Levite, his name would be Hophni, or he would be Hophni, right? And I was reading through the book of Samuel, right? And it speaks about Eli's sons Hophni and Phinehas, right? And these were wicked priests, right? That didn't do the ordinances of the Lord, and they did all different manners of wickedness, right? And Alazar's coming in that stead, and with his actions and his his wayward doctrines, and just his carnal actions and so on and so forth, and his desires and all this kind of stuff, right? He's perverting the gospel, perverting the teachings, right? Creating this image for himself, like he a bad boy. Bad boys for life, right? And this is no different to the sons of Eli that were going off, man. All right, so I just want to read this passage here, and then the next chapter, and just read a little bit about Phineas and Hophni, man. But I'm gonna stick with Hophni just because there's a previous Phineas that was righteous, and I don't want to ban Alazar with that one. But Hophni is more suited. So we're gonna get into it, right? It says, and First Samuel chapter 1 verse 3. So, and this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. Right? And I just wanted to go into Hophni's name. When it coming up? What's happened? All right. And Hophni actually has more information on him in here in the blue letter than Phineas does. Pugilist. I'm not entirely sure what that word means. Let's have a look. I think it's something to do with holy, in it. Web search. A boxer, right? Whatever. Okay, now that kind of makes a little bit of sense from what I read a moment ago. Right, and I'll show you why in a second. Right, because it means fist or something like that. If you go into the root word, hands, handfuls, hollow of hand, hand, fist, handful, right? So, yeah, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. Anyway. Anyway, this is one of the two sons of Eli who were priests at Shiloh and were noted for their brutality, right? So, he might have been a bit handy, same way Alazar, seems a bit carnal, This is and noted for their brutality and lust, right? Their lusts, right? And it seems like these men are really controlled and ruled by these types of emotions, man. Their lust and their carnalities, It says their sinfulness provoked a curse against their father's house, and were judged by the Lord when they took the ark into battle. The ark was lost, and both brothers were killed, and Eli died when he heard the news. All right, so they were wicked priests, that wouldn't listen to their father, man, and they were doing all kind of manner of wickedness, man. This is pugilist fighter, right? Yeah, he's fighting against the Lord, right? But I'm gonna jump over to verse 2 and chapter 2 verse 12, right? I read on from here. So these were the sons of Eli, Phineas and Hophni, right? It says, now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial, and they knew not the Lord. Right? It's the same thing, like, because Alazar, he knows scriptures, but he lacks understanding, right? And he don't carry the spirit, right? So he doesn't really know the Lord, man. He doesn't have the understanding, required, right? Now the sons of Belial, and you go into this word Belial, it means worthlessness, right? Wicked, worthless, good for nothing, unprofitable, base fellow. And these guys acting like base fellows, man. With their actions, man. Right? It says ruin, destruction, right? And it's Sakari and them. That's gonna be something that's gonna destroy it, man. Just everything about it, man, just ain't right. You know, the name, the mannerisms, that the way they go about themselves or carry themselves. You know, some of the breakdowns. Granted, not all the breakdowns. Some of the breakdowns are on point. It's all good, but some of the breakdowns, man, is going off. And so they're unprofitable to anybody. Okay, they act like a bunch of base fellows. They like, they want to be gangbangers. They want to, like, they're living that thug life in the ministry, man. Carrying sticks and all that shit, man. But that's not that's not how the men of the law carry themselves about. It would have been how the Sakari would carry themselves, which is who they named themselves after. But those weren't men of the Lord. All right, so hey, like I said, perhaps they're just coming back in their lot. All right, let's come back out of here. All right, so the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. They knew not the Lord. And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servants came, while the flesh was in sieving with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand, and he struck it into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself, right? So he was taking the choice. he was taking the sacrifice for himself, right? So they did the inshallah unto all the Israelites that came hither, right? So he was just, because obviously the people had to bring in the sacrifices, but they were just taking the sacrifices for themselves, or the best portion of it, rather than giving it to the Lord, right? So also before they burnt the fat, the priest's servants came and said to the man that sacrificed, give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of thee, but raw. And if any man said unto him, let them not fail to burn the fat presently, then take as much as thy soul desireth. Then he would answer him, nay, but thou shalt give it me now. And if not, I will take it by force, right? So they were being abusive in their positions, man. But Eli didn't have, the cojones to sort of deal with them. He basically, he was reasoning with them, about what they were doing, that it was wrong and that kind of stuff. But as the high priest, he weren't putting him in order. All right, because he knew what kind of judgment he'd have to bring against them, man, and he wasn't prepared to do it. All right, so his sons, they went on doing what they wanted to do after their own lusts, man. Because there ain't no one doing nothing to them. And that's the thing with with lots of these different camps, man. They're just doing what the hell they want to do, man, according to their own lust, according to their own mind, and ain't no one stopping them, right? Until the Most High is gonna come in and stop these guys, man. Put these guys down, and that's what's gonna happen to all these, these wicked groups, man. All these wicked people, individuals in these groups. The Most High is gonna put them down. Cause it's all right when you're getting off the hook. You can teach wayward doctrines and you get off the hook. Because ain't no one doing nothing to you. But the time's going to come where the Lord's going to bring judgment. All right. So yeah, they were getting a bit handy. They were being abusive with their power. Laying hands on mans and all that kind of stuff. All right. It says verse 17. Wherefore the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, for men abhorred the offering of the Lord. Right? They didn't want to offer because they had to deal with these dickheads. Right? They didn't want to bring offerings to them, to the Lord, because it's gonna get swiped. All right, so this is the type of priest that the people were dealing with at the time, man. Intolerable, right? And the Lord ended up killing them, as we know the story. Doesn't do that. All right. What verse is it? So Hophni and Phineas, they took the the Ark of the Covenant into the camp to combat, to fight against the tribes of the Philistines, right? And ultimately they shouldn't have done that, and they were killed. All right, verse 11 here says the ark of God was taken, and the sons of Eli, Hophni and Phineas, were slain. All right, and the news came to Eli's ear, and he fell back on the chair and he died. Right, so Eli was being judged also for not correcting his sons. Now that's something you can't say that the apostles don't do, right? Because the apostles make sure, because at the end of the day, Alazar's come up under the apostles, man. And if the apostles never said nothing to him, man, then Alazar will just think that whatever he's doing is fine, isn't it? But the apostles, they get on him. They get on him when he's going off, right? They rebuke him, right, and try to correct him. Now, he could either hear or forbear, but at the end of the day, the Most High is going to judge, right? So we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, right? Unless judgment fall upon us for not doing it. All right. So yeah, Hophni, man, that's my new thing, man. That's who Alazar is, Hophni, right? He's gonna be Hophni, High Priest Hophni, right? But anyway, this is from Wikipedia on the Hophni and Phineas, right? Because they're always named together. All right. I guess is where Alazar gets it from, right? It says the first book of Samuel describes him as the officiating priest at the sanctuary of Shiloh at the time of Hannah. According to Josephus, Phineas officiated as high priest because Eli had resigned as high priest at Shiloh because of his advanced age. So I guess that's why, as I was saying, that Apostle Hart needs to step down because he's old. Okay, but we're not conducting the priesthood, man. We're here as prophets to do the work until death, man. Or to the end, whatever comes first, man, right? It says in the biblical narrative, Hophni and Phineas are criticized for engaging in illicit behavior such as appropriating the best portion of sacrifices for themselves and having sexual relations with the sanctuary's serving women. They are described as sons of Belial, corrupt or scoundrels. Their misdeeds provoked the wrath of Yahweh and led to a divine curse being put on the house of Eli. And they subsequently both died on the same day when Israel was defeated by the Philistines at the Battle of Aphek near Ben Ezer. The news of this defeat then led to Eli's death. On hearing of the deaths of Eli and Phineas, and of the capture of the ark, Phineas's wife gave birth to a son that she named Ichabod. Then she herself died. Right, she was in a sorrowful state, man. She didn't even want to acknowledge the son that she gave birth to. She was in, I think the name means glory has departed or something like that. She was in a sorrowful state, man. But yeah, man, that's what happened to the wicked sons of Eli, the priests. Okay, the priesthood, right? Okay, Hophni and Phineas. Okay, and like I said, we're not here to boast or brag about ourselves and what we do right, what we do wrong, and all this kind of stuff here. But Alazar's taking on a cult of personality of himself, like he Like he's the guy, but he ain't doing nothing but evil in the sight of the Lord, man. You know. But anyway, I hope this is an edifying video, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next one. Shalom.